Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Monday, April 27th. We are going over interquartile range day. But before we do that, let's go over some range. So we have time. Let's keep track of the amount of time in minutes that he spent exercising for 10 days. He recorded the data in a list and in a box plot, which are shown below. And we have all that for us right there. So we're asked to find the range of the data set. We're asked to find the range of the data set. The range we can find by taking the max value, excuse me, and subtracting away the minimum value. So our maximum value here is going to be 80. That's told to us right there. And our minimum value is going to be 10. That's given to us right there. And that makes our range 70. I'm not going to write this out, but in the context of our problem, range is going to represent the spread of the values. We just put spread of the values right there. The max value is going to be 80, and the minimum value is going to be 10. Looking at question number 2, we have the same exact setup with Thomas and his running and the box plot and the data. Now we're looking at interquartile range, which we're told is found by subtracting the lower quartile from the upper quartile. We have to find the interquartile range of the data set. Remember from last class, we took the interquartile range. This is going to be our lower quartile. And this right here is going to be upper quartile. And they each of these sections represents 25% of all the data. So our interquartile range is going to be upper quartile. It's going to be upper quartile minus lower quartile. And that's going to be 60 minus 40, upper quartile minus lower quartile, which is going to give us 20. Right there is going to give us 20. So the IQR of our data set is going to be 20. And what does the interquartile range represent in this context? So the IQR in this context is going to represent the middle 50% of the data. Of our data. So we have our middle 50% of our data right here. We have 25% here, 25% there, and so what's left in the middle between the lower quartile and the upper quartile is going to be the middle 50% of the data. And the IQR is going to be more representative of how consistent this is with how long it works out because we've gotten rid of outliers. We've removed outliers, so IQR is therefore going to be more consistent. Awesome. Take a look at question number 3. I want you to pause the video, and resume it when you've finished answering this question. All right, for question number 3, I'm assuming that you have paused the video and unpaused it now. It says Mrs. Green kept track of how much money she spent daily for 20 days and displayed the amounts in the box plot below. To find the range of the data, we take the max minus the min. That's going to be 107 minus 56. It's going to give us an answer of 51. That's going to be our range of the data. The IQR, once again, we take our upper quartile, subtract our lower quartile away from that. So our upper quartile is right here, and our lower quartile is right there. So that's going to be 85 minus 66. It's going to give us a interquartile range of 19. And the context of this data, this means that 50% of the data lies inside these 19 points. Awesome. Questions 4 and 5, I want you to pause and answer them before you move on. You should pause and answer questions 4 and 5 to the best of your ability before you move on to the next question. Alrighty. Awesome. So let's take a look at question number 4. The box plot represents the height of the basketball players on a college basketball team. So let's go through each of these here. We're looking for the IQR is going to be 16. So to find our IQR, we're going to take our upper quartile and subtract our lower quartile from that. Our upper quartile is going to be 82. That's given to us right there. Lower quartile is going to be 75. And that's going to give us an interquartile range of 7. So A is absolutely incorrect. The interquartile range is absolutely not 16. It's going to be 7. Next we have B. Most players have a height of 78 inches. 78 is going to be our median, but that does not mean that most players have a height of 78 inches. That just means that half our data is above 78 and half our data is going to be below 78. C is definitely going to be correct. Middle 50% of our players vary in height by 7 inches. That's going to be an absolute yes for me. So the answer to this one is C. And looking at question number 5. For 40 days, Simon and Huang Fus kept track of the number of bouquets that they sold daily. They recorded the data in the box plots below. So we have to find the IQR and which store has more consistent sales. So our interquartile range It's going to be the upper quartile minus lower quartile for Simon. Let's do Simon first. Sorry, I should have written that out. Upper quartile range is going to be 40. Lower quartile is going to be 25. That's going to give us 15. And for Huang Fu, which abbreviate that as Huang Fu, their interquartile range is going to be 45 minus 35, which is going to be equal to 10. So which store is more consistent with their sales? Well, it's going to be Huang Fu for 10. We know it's more consistent because if we have a smaller interquartile range, that means their data is packed more tightly together, as opposed to in Simon's Flower Shop, where we have a much larger interquartile range, so the data is spread farther apart. Consistent means things are packed, so this would be more consistent than this, if we have two circles. This is more consistent than this, because the data is packed more tightly together than over here. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Make sure you have everything filled out in the Google Classroom. That's classwork and